back in December of 2023, it was announced by Riot that China would join Americas, EMEA, and Pacific as their main regions for the Valorant Champions Tour. Along with the announcement, the starting 10 teams were confirmed. Obvious teams like Edward Gaming, FunPlus Phoenix, and even Tyloo joined the region. Some of the surprises included Wolves Esports, Nova Esports, and All Gamers. While all of these teams have had some good results in various tournaments in VCT China, there is one team which only had one good result and all the rest were just terrible. This is the story of Titan Esports Club, a team with some potential promise to a laughingstock in China. When Titan Esports Club was announced to partnership in 2023, the team only competed in one tournament, being the Valorant China Evolution Series Act 3 Heritability. The Valorant China Evolution Series was the predecessor of the now VCT China we see today. Think of it as First Strike but only China. Titan Esports Club had a roster which included Z2, Black, Shameless, Arbo, and Kiwi, with 3water as the coach. So in the qualifier for the tournament, they would qualify to the play-ins, along with teams like FPX, Bilibili Gaming, and All Gamers, while other teams like Nova, XLG, Tyloo, JD Gaming, and even Wolves would fail to qualify. Jumping to the play-ins, they will qualify to the main event after finishing second in their group, only getting beaten by Top Esports, who by the way should be in partnership. Going into the main event, the team knew it would be a struggle. They are basically going up against the best: EDG, Rare Atom, Trace Esports, Attacking Soul Esports, and who remembers them? And the result? It wasn't that bad, only finishing 5th through 6th in the tournament, beating teams like Bilibili Gaming, Top Esports, LGD, and even Dragon Ranger Gaming. So that wasn't that bad. So how was 2024? Well, firstly, let's talk about the roster moves, which wasn't much. Yorkmonster would join the team as a coach alongside 3water, while joining the team was LockM, and maybe the biggest signing during that year for China, RB. Yes, the same RB who played for DRX and even Vision Strikers back in the day. So there was already some high hopes for this team. Going to the first tournament would be kickoff where the top 2 would qualify to Masters Madrid. They were in Group B with Dragon Ranger Gaming, JD Gaming, and All Gamers, teams which TEC have competed against and even beat, but it was a slightly different story. While they did beat JD Gaming and All Gamers, they didn't beat the top seed being Dragon Ranger Gaming, but they would play in the play-ins for one spot in the playoffs, where they would get smoked by Trace Esports and Bilibili Gaming and would finish 0-2. Okay, that wasn't bad. A solid 6th place finish to start the year. So, how did Stage 1 go? Much worse. After QE was moved to the bench midway Stage 1 with Shameless and Black, who were on the bench in kickoff, the team signed AC, who formerly played for Enter. And, was a struggle. They would only get 2 wins, which were against Wolves Esports and a struggling Bilibili Gaming, to get 9th through 10th in Stage 1. At least RB got MVP in Week 1, which was the main story of TEC. See, RB was a menace on this team, where he would put the team on his back during times, and while he was the best player on the team, the next best wasn't even close, which in my opinion was Arbo. 克里斯先摘一人，有没有可能打开一个破口跳进来讽刺 ？Screen 还是有所建树的，完颜火炸。RB 挽回了局面，时间有点来不及了。It was a struggle for this team to get constant good results if they had only 2 good players in the team. So they made some changes for Stage 2, where they said goodbye to Shameless and Kiwi, and in comes Yorkmonster, the coach for the team, switching to a player. Oh god, now, when I saw this back then, I was scratching my head and convinced that TEC was intentionally throwing for money or something, and why they would think that this was a good idea. Well, yes, the last time he played professionally was back in 2023 with Enter. You have to go back all the way to 2021, to where he was actually competitive when he was a part of EDG before the likes of Kang Kang, Hao Dong, and nobody was even considered joining that team. So it was a really confusing change back then, and it still is. But I digress. Hopefully Stage 2 goes well, right? Yeah, no. They would finish 11th and dead last in the standings, with only winning once, which was against FPX as the biggest upset in China. At the end of the season, they would finish 11th and last with only 3 points to their name. The next highest was 4 points, with the Wolves, Tyloo, and Nova all tying for 8th place. It was a horrible showing for a team which had so much promise. Moving to 2025, where the team's list would increase from 11 to 12, thanks to XLG Esports joining in the fun, and our beloved TEC would make some changes. After a move which considerably and understandably confused everyone, they would part ways with York Monster, along with Lockham and AC. They would then get Snail from Keep Best Gaming, Dynamite from Tracy Esports, and another massive acquisition of both Haldong and Coach After from Edward Gaming. Like, seriously, this team has a massive bag, so how did this team go in kickoff? Well, to put it lightly, shit. It was absolutely shit. While they would win against Tyloo, they would then lose to FPX and then get eliminated by JD Gaming. I mean, that's just embarrassing with a roster of Haldong, RB, and Arbo. Hell, Dynamite even played well against Tyloo while Black had a good performance against FPX. Something needed to change, and so they did. Moving Black and Dynamite to the bench and adding Coco from Chosen Click Gaming, and another surprising addition, Tavarius Luke from Drag Ranger Gaming before Stage 1. So Stage 1 started, and what the hell was this? They are actually doing well? Who knew just removing some mediocre players will make them a contender? While they did finish a strong second in their group, only getting beaten by EDG and FPX in the group stage, they wouldn't be so lucky in the playoffs. But losing to Wolves in the upper bracket and getting eliminated by DRG, the same team Tavarius Luke left from, but it was a good start though. A good building ground to go off. Surely coming to Stage 2, they can surprise everyone with a strong performance making it to champs, and let's have a look. Oh, well, it looks like RB has left the team. Well, it was nice knowing you, TEC. Yeah, so RB leaving the team really hurt them, as they didn't have that firepower they had in Stage 1 and in the previous tournaments as well. So coming to Stage 2, they would replace RB with Lucas, a player from the North America region who played for them in the Esports World Cup. Yes, this team qualified to the Esports World Cup, but not the champs. After a dismal, horrendous, god-awful 1-4 record in their group, only getting one win against Tracy Esports. At the end of the season, they finished with 4 points, equal with Nova and Tyloo, while beating 2 teams of All Gamers with 3 points and JD Gaming with 2 points. That's going to potentially be another video. So, horrible results, good roster on paper, and getting massive players to play for them. What's on site for Titan Esports Club in 2026? Surprisingly, not a lot. The only big change was Tavarius Luke retiring on January 16th, which to be fair, I don't blame him. The squad consists of now Arbo, Haldong, Coco, Lucas, and Dynamite, who is now back in the starting roster, with 3 Water and After as the coaches. It was still a rocky start for them in kickoff, with a loss to JD Gaming to knock them to the mid-bracket, and after a surprising win against Wolves Esports somehow, they would lose to a hard-charging Tyloo, and then lose to the team they won in the upper bracket JD Gaming to exit out of the tournament with a 9th through 10th place finish. Hopefully they can bounce back for stages 1 and 2 to finally make their international debut. And before you say, no, I do not count the Esports World Cup, I'm only counting Masters and Champs events. I mean, like, knowing them, they might make it to Masters London, because fucking hell, I mean, look at the teams representing China over there in Masters Santiago. I swear, you do not have All Gamers being the first seed for them. But, let's just see how they go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you guys later in the next one. Goodbye.